Good evening, ladies and gents. This is Connery Wheaton, and I'm going to go over proper movement patterns for the squat and give you an exercise to help you improve your form. So a lot of times I see clients going into overextension of the spine to perform a squat. They have a load on their back, and when they go down, their knees may buckle in, or they're pushing their butt back so far that in order to keep their chest up, they go into overextension and compress those intervertebral discs as they go down. And what that does is it causes pressure on the disc in between your vertebrae, and that can cause bulging discs. So we want to avoid that position as much as possible and improve that form. And the way we do that is by practicing midline stabilization. Midline stabilization is a position that we use to get ourselves set so we can do a squat properly. Now keep in mind, you can do all the mobility, flexibility, and strength work, but unless you practice these proper movement patterns, you're never going to truly improve your squat form. So midline stabilization techniques, we have our feet shoulder width apart, and then from there we're going to squeeze our glutes and externally rotate our femur, which is the thigh bone, to the center of that hip socket, and that also levels out the pelvic floor. From there we're going to give a slight exhale and tuck that lower rib cage down a little bit to maintain that core tension, and then from there we're going to keep those shoulder blades retracted. This is the proper positioning you want to start in when you do your squats. Now an exercise to help us move in that positioning and to improve our form, you don't need any weight. In fact, we're going to use assistance so that way we can move in a proper form, and over time you can add a little weight and move up, maintaining that good form until you can go back into your back squats without going into overextension. But that requires practice, ladies and gents. You got to have patience and practice. You can do all the mobility, strength, and flexibility work, but unless you practice moving in those positions, you're never going to truly improve your squat form. So what we want to do is we want to stand close to a door frame, both feet on either side. Feet are set hip width apart. From there, we're going to get set in our midline stabilization position. So we're going to squeeze those glutes, externally rotate so our knees drive out, core tight, and then shoulders retracted. And then I'm going to use my hands to walk myself down into the bottom of my squat. From here, we're going to keep those glutes tight and core tight. We're going to use those elbows to drive those knees out and pull those hips in and keep our back upright here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to exhale and drive straight up, keeping those hips under us rather than at the bottom, letting go and releasing the glute tension and pushing our butt back and then coming up into overextension again. We want to move, keeping those glutes and core tight, keeping those hips under us at all times. So once again, a couple reps, nice and slow, squeeze at the bottom, really drive those knees out, and squeeze those glutes. Over time, if you practice this enough and you really squeeze those glutes and keep that core tight, you should be able to really improve your squat form with some weight on your back and avoid lower back problems compressing those vertebral discs or intervertebral discs. So practice, practice, practice. Good luck.